Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Casey Pazzalia, creator of Slackie Brown, and you're listening to the DMV line. We don't have college basketball games to watch right now, but we do have a real special guest today, Greg Alexander. He was one of the best players on Mount St. Mary's NCAA Tournament team a few years ago. They won a game, almost knocked off Nova in the round of 64, and he was a great guy to speak with. He is pursuing a career as an artist right now, and it was a real pleasure talking to him. Real insightful stuff. So let's get to the conversation. Greg, happy to have you on, man. Your 2017 team that went to the tournament was really unique. You guys started 1-11, but then made the run at the end of the season to make the tournament. Talk to me about how brutal it was playing those tough opponents and so many games on the road to start the year.
Coach Christian, he always made it a point to give his guys a really tough out-of-conference schedule. No matter where he is, really.
Michigan, Arkansas, Minnesota.
Yeah, and it was surreal just really being in those gyms and just having a crucial role against these teams. And but the fact that they were so good, and we would hang around the first half, and they would just kind of pull away. But we were just incredibly confident going into conference play, and we spent so much time on the road together. We just the chemistry in the locker room and on the court was just out of this world.
So you started your career at ECU. You played 2 years, but this was the first real time of you getting heavy minutes. But then you're jumping right in playing in these big gyms. That must have been great feeling.
It was it was very surreal because it was really just from black to white, just not really playing at all. Then the first official game, West Virginia, and I'm starting, and I'm just like, what is going on? And thank God I hit my first shot.
It made you have 15 points, man.
Yeah, and hitting that first shot made all the difference in the world because it felt terrible. I'll never forget it. I thought I was going to shoot it into the crowd.
So you guys have a tough schedule. You come together as a team. You're on the road for 3 weeks straight, but then you start rolling.
It was definitely facing the incredible teams we played in non-conference. And we had in the NEC, we had some very talented players, some very talented teams. But I guess just our schedule, we were just so ready. We were just so prepared for whatever they could throw at us. We just played some amazing teams.
You guys played a lot of NBA guys, I'm sure.
Yeah, we did. And so, it's hard not to be ready when those are the guys you're going up against for 3 consecutive weeks.
So you guys finished the season 16-15, and then you win the Northeast Conference tournament. You obviously know you're in the tournament at that point, but how did you guys hear about Selection Sunday? Did you gather up as a team? Or did you go to someone's house?
Yeah, our school made it sort of an event. They put it on this giant screen in one of the theater lecture hall type of spaces, and so they have ESPN on the big screen, and when it's revealed, we're on a playing game with New Orleans, and the winner goes up against the defending champs Villanova, and it's like, whoa.
So that's on a Sunday, and then you're immediately turning around and heading to the first 4 was in Dayton usually, right?
Yeah.
Dayton. So you're pretty much going into this New Orleans game without any no time to scout, no time to really get ready.
Just a really quick scout and a practice in the actual gym before the game, but we were really confident. Really for the last part of conference play spilling over into the tournament, we were just so ready and so excited just to really be in the building. So
you guys went on to beat New Orleans. You were one of the teams. You were the team's best 3-point shooter. Had the most threes on the team. Was it any different than any of the other games? Being in such a you guys already played in all these big arenas, so it's kind of like that prepared you guys.
Yeah, it was different just because of knowing where you are. But I mean, even the basketballs were different. Like the floor felt different, and like just knowing where you were was enough. It's like, wow, this is actually on TV. It's really clear. They can see everything. This is the NCAA tournament. Like, wow.
So then you guys advance, man. You won a game in the NCAA tournament, and then you're playing Nova, and then you're down by 1.5.
Yeah, like what's going on? Are these guys about to win? Like, is this the Cinderella team this year? And those are thoughts in real time. It's like, wow,
that's wild. So you went on to you played another. That was your junior year when you guys went to the tournament. You played your senior year at Mount St. Mary's as well, and then did you play professional basketball? Any years of professional basketball?
Did 1 year, one complete season in Portugal. And that was an experience, to say the least.
Good, bad?
A pretty fair amount of both, I would say.
Are you playing against a lot of like career pros and like guys who are still trying to get to the NBA, or like guys who maybe are like settled into, careers overseas?
Yeah, there were guys like myself who was it was our first year and our first opportunity overseas, and then there are guys who have been doing this for 10, 12 years who are just making a very comfortable amount of money at this point. Yeah. And some of them had NBA time.
So what are the crowds like in the Portugal league?
It was interesting because with my club, I played for one of the smaller clubs that didn't have like as much money, but we probably had the best fans in the country. It was crazy. They loved us because we also didn't have a soccer team. A lot of the teams had a soccer team, and that's the biggest sport over there. It's not even close. There's like a bust of Ronaldo's head at the airport, and it's crazy. But no, the fans are awesome because, and especially to the kids, we might as well be the Lakers or something out there.
That's pretty cool. So now you're, you moved on from professional basketball. You're a full-time artist. I saw the picture you did with Mac Miller and Nipsey Hussle. It's really good work. You're very, very talented. Is basketball over, or are you just kind of trying to chase the art dream right now?
I mean, it wasn't an easy thing to do, but it was peaceful. Just kind of walking away, stepping away from the game from on my own terms. Yeah. And I just knew that everything with my creativity is what fulfilled me the most, and that's what I really wanted to do. And so, you get one life, and it's just like, all right, I have to choose, and I'm like, I need to chase this now.
Yeah. I think it's good to get a lot of experiences. You have like, you can say you did so many things. You had this athletic career, then you have an artistic career, and then you don't want to you don't want to be real old and saying, hey, I wish I did that. I wish I did that.
That's exactly what I tell people. That is exactly what I tell people. I don't want to have any regrets about the things that I was doing because I worried about what people would think about it. That's been a big thing for me as well, especially as an athlete who was always into so many other things that athletes aren't typically into.
Are you doing, is it mostly commission work, or do you have any like regular things lined up for your?
Yeah, I actually just finished a commission, and I'm always in contact with somebody about paintings. Everybody wants artwork, not everybody, but everybody doesn't have money,
of course,
to pay for it. But yeah, a lot of commissions, and I'm also just kind of building my portfolio up. I want to have solo shows and things like that for my personal work.
Before I let you go, I want to talk a little bit about, you started out at ECU, which, by historically is a little bit bigger than Mount St. Mary. What made you choose ECU, and maybe how did the recruiting process go?
The recruiting process was nuts because I just really didn't know anything about it before. It was just a huge part of my life at one point.
When did you start getting like letters and stuff from schools?
Like not long after I got there. I was in Hampton for a few weeks, and my coach had a William and Mary assistant coach in there watching me.
That's awesome.
I hadn't played a game but he had him in there with eyes on me. So
Did it start when you started in Michigan, right?
yeah, I grew up in Michigan, and I moved to Hampton when I was 15. So I played my last 2 years of high school down there.
So maybe as a sophomore, did you play your sophomore year in Michigan? Maybe you got some attention there, man. I don't know.
No, I heard that maybe a couple like D3 schools like heard about me, maybe, but I just didn't have I didn't have the coaches around me who could really get the eyes on me. And
You kind of you got to have a guy who's like got your back, you know.
and we also weren't really a great team.
Mm-hmm.
And I was super young and hadn't done a lot on the circuit at the time, on the AAU circuit, but you get down to the 757, you know, Boo Williams and all these names come out of there, you know. So that was just, it was a big culture shock as well, because just the competition level was just out of this world, especially compared to where I came from. But yeah, so recruitment didn't really pick up until the summer after my junior year, where now I'm in more of a leadership position on the team, and I'm kind of getting used to the competition down there. So I have a great AAU season heading into my senior year, and I'm down to Elon, Mount St. Mary's, ECU, and a couple other mid-major schools.
And what was it about East Carolina that kind of got you there?
To be honest, people telling me that that's where I should go because really it was William and Mary was where I wanted to go, and then Elon was like a very close second, and it was strange. I was 17, and I trusted the people around me more than I really trusted my own judgment.
Of course.
And so they're like, you should know this is definitely the right place, and I'm like, okay, then that's the right place if you say it's the right place. And yeah, didn't love it there. But if I didn't make that choice, I wouldn't have ended up at Mount St. Mary's and being a part of that that amazing run that we had and that team that we had.
So you played 2 years for it was Jeff Labo was there when you were at ECU, right?
Yes.
What so do you look back on your time at East Carolina with happy memories, or was it kind of you wish you went somewhere else to begin?
At one point, I wished that I had chosen William and Mary.
Yeah.
But looking back on it now, and just the way that things happen, I don't regret anything. I made lifelong friends at ECU as well, and that experience was pretty crucial for me headed into my situation with Mount St. Mary's. And strangely enough, Mount St. Mary's was actually my first offer when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. When Coach Christian first got to the school, I was like on the top of his board. I was one of his first offers as a new coach there. So
do you guys still have a relationship to this day? He's at GW now.
Yeah, absolutely. He's amazing. That'll be somebody who will have my back forever. I'm sure about that.
So you do 2 years at ECU, and then I don't know if they had the transfer portal at that time, but when did you know, all right, junior, senior years, I'm going somewhere where I'm going to get heavy minutes?
Towards the end of the season, there was just a switch. My attitude was different. I was just so mentally checked out. Yeah, that was the first time I couldn't wait till a season was over. And so me and my coach had already discussed it. It wasn't really much of a surprise, but yeah, and shout out to Coach Lebo. He was extremely supportive, and he helped me land in a good situation, and gave me opportunities to start fresh somewhere else. Was William and Mary an option coming out of? What were the schools you were looking to go to out of ECU? I didn't have all the options that I had going into college, but I definitely checked on William and Mary. Like, hey, let me come home. But as soon as my name was really out there in the transfer portal, Coach Christian was like, send him here. Like, I didn't have to go work out for him. He's just like, send him here. So it was really between Mount St. Mary's, Hampton, and Norfolk State. And I took a visit to Norfolk State, but they had JUCO transfers who could play right away, so they kind of get priority. And so I visit Mount St. Mary's, and I'm really just with the coaches. I didn't meet any of the players. I didn't play any pickup games, but being with the coaches and the energy I got from the coaches was just like, this is the place I need to be.
And you were close enough where, Hampton to Emmitsburg is like you probably can get your family to most of the games, or
yeah, a few hours away.
So when you drive past the Mount St. Mary's campus, it's kind of like it's the college, and then there's not much before it and not much after it. What was living in Emmitsburg for a couple of years like? You were there for 3 years because you had a redshirt year there, right?
Yeah, life is different, and there's and I'm sure it's like this for any school where there are just certain things around that you just associate with being a student there, whether they're your friends or people you never even met before. But it's a place where it's not a college town at all. So, you can't make a Taco Bell run at 3 a.m. All we had was we had a Sheetz, probably 5 to 10 minutes up the highway. And that Sheetz is like a staple in all Mount St. Mary students experience at that place.
So like you go from ECU, which is like notoriously a great party school, to Mount St. Mary, where, I mean, it's probably better off for athletes and, people trying to focus on their work, but it's definitely an interesting experience. It changes scenery for you.
Oh, absolutely. But, it was weird because when I was at the party school, I didn't do anything, and then I get to this school with 2,000 people around nothing, and I'm happier than I've ever been. I'm doing more than I've ever been, so it was definitely a good place for me.
Well, I appreciate you coming on. Greg Alexander, the best shooter on the last Mount St. Mary NCAA tournament team. Check out his website. What's your website, Greg?
The website is jesuspieces.com. That's GEESUSPIECES.com.
And your social is same thing, right? With a dot in the middle?
Yeah, dot in the middle on Instagram and an underscore on Twitter.
Lots and lots of talent on the court and off the court. Make sure to check them out. Greg, thanks for coming on.